Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, everyone. Once again, I'd like to welcome you one more time in our weekly live talk on career growth related topics. आप सबका स्वागत है. Whomsoever is here live on this talk show today, or people who are going to watch this talk show in a recorded version, I'd like to welcome all of you to begin today's session. Now, जैसे कि आप सबको पता है कि this is something that we want to do on a weekly basis. In some weeks, because of certain other commitments, I'm not able to come live. But believe me, whenever there is a gap, I try to bring in a topic with little bit more content, more information, adding little bit more value, so that it helps you towards that particular target of your growing rapidly towards your career success. So दोस्तों, जब भी हम लोग कैरियर सक्सेस के बारे में बात करते हैं, सक्सेस एज वी ऑल नो इज डिफरेंट फॉर डिफरेंट प्रोफेशनल्स. आपके कैरियर में जो सक्सेस की जो डेफिनेशन है, वो मेरे कैरियर में जो सक्सेस की डेफिनेशन है, जरूरी नहीं है दोनों एक साथ में मैच करें. So whatever is your target, whatever is your goal in the next 4, 5, 10, 15 years, if you're working towards achieving that particular goal, then I think you're on the right track and you're at the right place. Okay, so with that, हम लोग आज का सेशन शुरू करेंगे. सबसे पहले, this is what I do. So I'm an IITD certified trainer. I'm also an ICF certified coach. Basically, my coaching is into career coaching and executive coaching. That means exactly क्या मैं करता हूँ. So जो भी प्रोफेशनल्स है, जो भी वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, उन लोगों को थ्रू कोचिंग मैं हेल्प करने की कोशिश करता हूँ, सो दैट वो लोग अपने कैरियर जो भी सक्सेस के जो भी उनके टारगेट है, जो भी उनके गोल्स हैं, वो लोग बहुत जल्दी से उसको अटेन कर पाए. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स विथ मोस्ट ऑफ द प्रोफेशनल्स क्या होता है कि लोगों में वो टैलेंट, जो इंटरनल टैलेंट एंड इंटरनल स्किल होता है, दैट इज ऑलरेडी देयर. What they need is a little bit of push, little bit of support here and there. वो अगर एक बार मिल जाए, so I'm sure that many of us, most of us rather, can actually achieve whatever we decided to achieve in our life, right? With that hope, हम लोग आज का सेशन शुरू करेंगे. जैसे कि मैं हमेशा आप लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि in case you have any particular thought, any particular perspective, अगर आपका कोई खुद का एक्सपीरियंस है, so please go ahead and share with us by putting it in the comment section. आपका जो भी पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है, हम लोग यहाँ पे सबके साथ शेयर करेंगे, so that through your experience somebody else could able to learn something new today, and in the process you indirectly will be helping that person in achieving their career goals. राइट? तो उसी उम्मीद के साथ हम लोग आज की टॉक शो शुरू करेंगे. नाउ, आज का जो टॉपिक है, उस टॉपिक के लिए लेट मी आस्क यू सर्टेन क्वेश्चंस सो एज टू ब्रिंग यू टू लाइट टू द पॉइंट दैट वी वांट टू डिस्कस टुडे. सो द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट आई डू हैव फॉर यू, हैव यू एवर वर्कड विद अ डिफिकल्ट बॉस? क्या आपने कभी भी अपने लाइफ में, अपने कैरियर में एक डिफिकल्ट बॉस के साथ काम किए हैं? नाउ, डिफिकल्ट बॉस क्या डेफिनेशन है इसकी, उसके बारे में भी हम लोग डिटेल में बात करेंगे. बट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट अ डिफिकल्ट बॉस, हो सकता है आपके लिए जो डिफिकल्ट बॉस थे, या आप जिस बॉस को डिफिकल्ट सोचते हो, दूसरे के लिए शायद उतने डिफिकल्ट नहीं होंगे. बट वॉट एवर इट इज, हैव यू एवर वर्कड विद अ डिफिकल्ट बॉस? गो अहेड एंड पुट इट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन इन केस यू हैव अ रियल लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस इन योर ओन कैरियर. द सेकंड क्वेश्चन दैट आई डू हैव इज, if you have worked with a difficult boss, are you looking for ways to handle that difficult boss? कि किस तरह से उस difficult boss को handle करें. So आज हम लोग we are going to talk about 5 ways to deal with a difficult boss at your workplace. हम लोग बात करेंगे वो 5 तरीके जिससे आप एक डिफिकल्ट बॉस को हैंडल कर सकते हो. आर यू रेडी? आर यू रियली इंटरेस्टेड? सो दोस्तों, अगर आप सही पे इंटरेस्टेड हो एंड सही में यू वांट टू लर्न अबाउट दिस थिंग्स, देन लेट्स गेट द बॉल रोलिंग। तो किस तरह से हम लोग आज का डिस्कशन करेंगे, मैं कुछ प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल्स आपके साथ शेयर करूंगा। इनफैक्ट आई विल आल्सो शेयर माय ओन real life experience of working with a similar difficult boss, and how I handle that situation, what are the things that has been my learning. And then we will actually go deeper into the subject, and we will talk about those 5 ways using which you will be able to also handle a difficult boss if you are that person who is facing that kind of a boss. It might also happen that you don't have a difficult boss, but uh, some of your friend or your colleague or your family member are having that particular challenge. So on the basis of today's talk, I'm sure that you'll be also be able to suggest उस दोस्त को, उस कलीग को या उस फैमिली मेंबर को कि किस तरह से इस सिचुएशन को हैंडल करें. सो बाय एंड ऑफ टुडेज सेशन, माय इंटेंशन इज टू गिव यू दोस टूल्स. आपके हाथ में वो टूल्स मुझे थमा देना है जिसको यूज करके यू विल बी एबल टू बेटर हैंडल a difficult boss that you or somebody else that you know is actually experiencing, right? So ये हमारा मतलब मेन फोकस रहेगा आज का सेशन का. सबसे पहले so as we said, I mean our main motto of today's call is to talk about these 5 ways, right? And सबसे पहले मैं शुरू करने वाला हूँ with my personal experience. मेरा खुद का एक्सपीरियंस मैं आप सबके साथ शेयर करना चाहूँगा. Personal experience, when we say, that's what I asked at the very beginning, क्या आपने भी ऐसा फेस किया है अपने कैरियर में, अपने लाइफ में? In the beginning of my career, at the very starting point of my career, I had faced a particular boss who had got very high expectations from me. मुझसे बहुत ज्यादा उम्मीदें थी उनको. पता नहीं किस लिए, मतलब I was a management graduate when I got into job first, and then there was a lot of expectation from me. Unfortunately, those expectations were based on lack of capabilities on my side, because I was completely new to the corporate world. I didn't have so much of skills, experience, capabilities. तो उस हिसाब से मुझे बहुत डिफिकल्टी का सामना करना पड़ा था at the beginning of my career. So my boss has got very high expectations from me, and I also observed that he would become frustrated, and sometimes he also used to use some harsh words, saying that I was expecting that you'll be able to do this activity, but you are not able to do this. What exactly you are doing? You're good for nothing, and so on and so forth. All those things that sometimes you might have also heard at the beginning of your career. कभी-कभी जब हम लोग कैरियर की शुरुआत करते हैं, उस टाइम में हम सबकी बहुतों की इस तरह की एक्सपीरियंस होती है. तो मेरा भी उसी तरह का एक्सपीरियंस हुआ था. And for me, that was the difficult situation, the difficult boss that I faced in my career. Now, for me, the dissatisfaction from that particular incident was so high कि मैं अपना जॉब छोड़ देना चाह रहा था. जल्दी से उस जॉब से मैं निकल जाना चाह रहा था, because मुझसे नहीं हो पा रहा था उस सिचुएशन को फेस करना, उस तरह के कम्युनिकेशन को फेस करना, उस तरह के हार्श कमेंट्स को फेस करना. इट वाज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर मी एट दैट टाइम. सो आई वाज एक्चुअली लुकिंग फॉर वेज कितना जल्दी मैं इस जॉब से निकल के कहीं दूसरी जगह जाऊं जहां पे मुझे शायद सुकून की जिंदगी मिलेगा. सो दैट वाज my personal experience of facing a difficult boss at the very starting point of my career. Now, in case you also have similar kind of experience, please go ahead and share one line or two line about your own experience. Now, the next point that we should actually talk about, कि ये तो चलो ठीक है, बहुत लोगों की इस तरह की experience होंगी कि कभी ना कभी in your career you might have faced a difficult boss. You know what? It is also important that we learn how to manage a relationship with a difficult boss at work. किस लिए ये वाला पॉइंट बहुत जरूरी, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, टू नो हाउ टू डील विद अ डिफिकल्ट बॉस. Based on my early experience, this has taught me a very crucial lesson. It has taught me that managing our relationship with the bosses is very important for job satisfaction and career growth both. Because jab you are not happy with the person you're working with, I mean the boss that you're working with, it is going to impact your satisfaction level with the job. And in case you learn how to deal with a difficult boss, I'm sure that this will also drastically improve your own job performance, and it'll improve your mental health and the overall satisfaction level at your job. Apart from that, it also gives you a lot of skills, such as your negotiation skill, your communication skill, and another thing that it teaches you, which is called resilience, right? So किस तरह से difficult situation को आप skillfully handle कर सकते हो. So it teaches you that very important skill of resilience. Now, all these kind of skills that you're talking about, these are not only very helpful, but at the same time these are also important, जो कि आपको कैरियर में आगे लेके जाएंगे. आपके कैरियर में प्रोग्रेशन के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है इस तरह के स्किल्स, राइट? सो दैट्स द रीजन आई थिंक दैट यू शुड लर्न हाउ टू हैंडल अ डिफिकल्ट बॉस. ये ऐसा टॉपिक है, इसको ऐसे ही इग्नोर मत कीजिए. इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है कि चलो तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है, आई हैव अ डिफिकल्ट बॉस, उसको मैनेज करने के लिए क्या जरूरी है मुझे सीखना. नो, इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज इट impacts your performance at your work. It impacts your satisfaction with your work. और आपका performance, आपका level of satisfaction is also related to how you are going to perform in your job. And this is your performance, obviously, आपको growth मिलेगा या तो नहीं मिलेगा, isn't it? So that's why this is so very important. So friends, with that particular thought, let's go now deeper into those 5 steps using which you will be able to better manage a challenging boss, and you'll be able to triumph over that particular relationship with a difficult boss. Ultimately, आपका focus होना चाहिए in your growth, not on the problem. So problem का solution ढूंढना है, problem के ऊपर ज्यादा focus नहीं देना है, आपके growth के ऊपर ज्यादा focus देना है. That's why you are there in that job, right? So with that positive note, let's start going deeper into these 5 steps. सबसे पहला step जो आपके लिए जरूरी है when you are facing a difficult boss at your workplace is this one. So सबसे पहले उनका जो behavior है उसको डिकोड करने का कोशिश कीजिए, मतलब उसको ना डिफाइन करने का कोशिश कीजिए कि ये जो डिफिकल्ट बॉस है, जो उनकी जो डिफिकल्ट बिहेवियर है, उसका नेचर कैसा है. व्हाट इज द टाइप ऑफ डिफिकल्ट बिहेवियर दैट यू आर एक्चुअली एक्सपीरियंसिंग. सो सम ऑफ द वेज ऑफ डूइंग इट इज ट्राई टू ऑब्जर्व द पैटर्न्स. इज इट दैट उनका जो बातचीत करने का तरीका है वो गलत है? व्हाट इज दैट चैलेंजिंग बिहेवियर? सो try to spot that inconsistency, try to recognize the power dynamics and also identify the triggers. For example, आपका बॉस अगर कम्युनिकेट करते हैं आपके साथ इन हार्श लैंग्वेज, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट कौन से वो सिचुएशंस हैं विच ट्रिगर्स दैट टाइप ऑफ ए कम्युनिकेशन विथ यू. सो दैट अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द ट्रिगर्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट because at the very first step you're actually trying to understand the behavior. उसको सही तरीके से जानने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. इसमें और एक चीज जो इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है is trying to uncover his or her motivation. That means your boss's motivation, why that person behaves in a particular way. So what are the external pressure? Is it because of somebody else's pressure that this person is working in that way? Or is it that person's style from the very beginning? So that's why that person behaves in a particular way. And is it something that somewhere the company culture is involved? Is it that is company mein somewhere the culture is like that ke हर कोई हर किसी से चिल्ला के बात करता है, गुस्सा होके बात करता है? Is it something to do with that? So ये जानकारी होना बहुत जरूरी है कि why that person is behaving that particular way. And also adapt to the communication style. So उनका जो कम्युनिकेशन स्टाइल है, जब आप एक्टिवली सुनोगे उनके बातें, then you will understand the communication style कि कौन से type of communication style में आते हैं. For example, is it very very authoritative kind of communication style that the person is having, or sometimes जब हम लोग difficult boss के बारे में बात करते हैं, आपका boss ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि that person is a timid person, that person is not courageous enough, so that person lacks confidence while talking. So try to understand all those aspects, because अगर आपको इस इश्यू को डील करना है, it is very important for you that you decode that behavior of your boss. Maybe we can actually talk about a particular example here. What type of behavior that we are talking about. For example, समझ लीजिए कि आपका बॉस ऐसा है who tries to take decisions very quickly. That person rushes to make a decision, and at the same time that person also pressurizes his or her team members with unrealistic deadlines. जबकि कोई काम करने के लिए मान लीजिए कि 1 हफ्ता लगेगा, and this person is actually pressurizing you to complete that activity within 1 day. Now, if that's the kind of situation you are facing with your boss, you need to understand the motivation behind which this person is behaving with you in that manner and giving you that kind of pressure with a very very tight deadline. हो सकता है कि जब आप उसको डिकोड करने का कोशिश करते हो, जब आप थोड़ा सा डीपली उसमें जाते हो, now you understand, for example, कि your boss is under tremendous pressure from the upper management, from the higher management, जहां से उनके ऊपर प्रेशर है, एंड हायर मैनेजमेंट उनको बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं 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 7 days में नहीं हो सकता, you need to complete this activity within 1 day, so ask your team also to do that. So if this person is under tremendous pressure from his higher ups, maybe that is the reason he's actually coming to you and then pressurizing you. So अगर आप इस बात को समझते हो, जान लेते हो, then आपका नजरिया थोड़ा सा चेंज होगा. Then because you now understand, you will actually appreciate the reason that your boss is also asking you for a very very tighter deadline. Then you will talk to your boss and then try to create a strategy कि किस तरह से हायर मैनेजमेंट के पास जाए. आप दोनों मिलके एक स्ट्रेटेजी बना सकते हो, एंड हायर मैनेजमेंट को समझाए कि this particular activity cannot be completed within 1 day, but it will require more than a day, if not 1 week, maybe 4 days, maybe 3 days, maybe 5 days, right? Then only it is possible to address that situation. इसीलिए हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं कि this is very important that you decode that particular behavior of your boss. Now, that's the first step that you need to do. The second step that you need to do is harnessing the power of communication. दोस्तों, ये हम लोग जब भी communication के बारे में बात करते हैं, it's a very very important topic in corporate world. In you, and this communication plays a very major role. Believe me, it plays the most important and critical role in your career success. ऐसे बहुत से लोग मैंने देखे हैं जिनके पास बहुत कैपेबिलिटी है, बहुत टैलेंट है, बहुत स्किल्स है, लाखों डिग्री लेके बैठे हैं, बट कैरियर में ग्रो नहीं कर पाते, only because of the communication. And sometimes they don't realize that they need improvement in the communication. Now, I'm sure that you know, when we talk about communication, it is not about speaking English fluently. Well. I also can't speak English fluently. So communication is not about speaking English fluently. Communication is an art. Communication is a science. हम लोग सीखते रहते हैं कंटिन्यूअसली. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने ये कोर्स किया, आप मास्टर हो गए कम्युनिकेशन की. ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's something that you keep on learning by observing. And one of the best way to learn communication is to learn the art of listening first. सबसे पहले सुनना जरूरी होता है. So for this particular thing, there are certain steps that I'll be suggesting you. जब भी आप अपने बॉस के साथ communicate करना चाहते हो, because you are actually dealing with a difficult boss, right? That's the topic that we are discussing today. अपना इंटरेक्शन को पहले से प्लान कीजिए. What are the things you are going to talk with your boss? पहले से प्लान कीजिए. So choose the right time and place. That's what I will be mentioning here. कौन सी बात कौन सी टाइम में बात करना है उसको जानिए, उसके ऊपर ध्यान दीजिए. कभी कभी even though you know a lot about a particular topic and your topic is relevant, practical, important, critical, sometimes because the time is not right, you may not get a good response from your boss, and thereby you will be thinking that my boss is so difficult, इस बंदे के साथ तो मैं काम ही नहीं कर सकता और कर सकती हूँ, right? So it's very important to know the right time and place and start on a positive note hamesha, even though the topic that you're discussing is a very very difficult topic, very very negative topic. For example, सर ये जो प्रोजेक्ट मुझे आपने दिया, ये प्रोजेक्ट बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, इसके लिए मुझे सपोर्ट चाहिए, एंड आई एम नॉट गेटिंग सपोर्ट फ्रॉम दिस पर्सन दैट पर्सन. सो दिस वेरी यू वांट टू स्टार्ट in a positive note. That's what I will suggest you. So the positive note could be, in this particular example, the project opportunity that you've given me. Well, I'm so excited to be working on this particular project, and I know the importance of this project, that if you can complete this project successfully, हमारे कंपनी के लिए ये बहुत फायदेमंद होने वाला है. तो आपने पॉजिटिव नोट में शुरू किया, and then slowly you can go into the key points, right? So that should be the strategy that you should follow. The second part on this communication part is you need to be very very clear and you need to be assertive. Assertive होने का मतलब ये है कि ये मेरा सजेशन है, ये करने से इस प्रोजेक्ट के लिए इतना अच्छा होगा, ये चीज अच्छा होगा. So be very assertive. So state your needs very clearly, what exactly you require, and practice assertive body language. आपका जो body language है, this speaks more than your words, right? So this is another tool for communication. What is your body language? Is your body language positive, या आपके body language में थोड़ा सा confusion है, थोड़ा सा doubt है, थोड़ा सा lack of confidence है, right? Work on that. And when you are assertive, जब आप बोल रहे हो सर ये ना मुझे चाहिए, I need your help, show respect in the process. Don't be adamant. Don't disrespect that person when you are becoming assertive, right? Assertiveness with respect is important. So here, the third point that I would like to suggest you is, again, be a very good listener and then engage. In the process of communication with your boss, listen to your boss carefully. Listen to your boss attentively. So pay attention to the verbal and the non-verbal cues that is coming from him or her in the process of communication, and also validate that person's perspective. जब भी आप कोई बात बोल रहे हो, उनका perspective check कर लीजिए, is it okay, is it matching with his or her perspective or not, and offer a constructive response. Constructive response का मतलब ऐसा होता है कि which will be very good for the project in a constructive way, instead of trying to identify negative things in the point that your boss just now made, right? So that should be the methodology to ensure that you use the power of communication in dealing with a difficult boss. Believe me, I will put this particular point as the most important point when you're dealing with a difficult boss. Use the power of communication. अगर इसमें support चाहिए, seek support from the right person, right mentor who can help you harnessing the power of communication for you and can support you. The third step here, my dear friends, will be this: stand firm and set certain boundaries while dealing with a difficult boss. Now, let me explain what exactly I'm going to talk here. The first part is the defining your boundaries. Understand the personal limits, recognize the comfort zones, determine deal breakers. For example, when you're dealing with a difficult boss and the boss is asking you to work on every Sunday. मान लीजिए कभी कभी हम लोगों को संडे, वीकेंड में, हॉलीडे में काम करना पड़ता है, if that is a need, that is a demand of your job. Sometimes, that's what I'm saying, not all the times. For example, your boss is asking you to work on every holiday, every Sunday. You need to define your boundaries. You need to tell him very clearly that for me, I've got a personal life, I've got my family responsibilities, I've got my personal commitments, so I cannot work on all holidays, all Sundays. Sometimes if you give me pre-alert, if it is very, very critical for my organization, sometimes during month-end kind of situation in many businesses, you may have to work on a holiday, as that's the need for your work, for your organization. But it is very important that you define your boundaries, right? The second point here is you need to communicate the boundaries. सबसे पहले आपने जब mentally decide कर लिया that these are my boundaries, these are my limitations which I need to communicate. Now go ahead and communicate it very, very clearly. Express the boundaries respectfully. Respect को हमेशा साथ में रखिए, because आपको लंबा रेस भागना है in your career. शॉर्टकट नहीं करना है. आप एक साल के लिए जॉब नहीं कर रहे हो, पूरी जिंदगी के लिए. Till your career, till the time you retire, you are going to do work, right? Use clear and assertive communication and deal with pushback. आप जैसे ही बोलते हो कि for me it is difficult to work on every Sunday, so there will be pushback from your boss. नहीं नहीं, कैसे नहीं करोगे, तुमको करना पड़ेगा. You need to be firm and assertive. Sir, I've got my personal life. I have to give time to my family. I cannot work on every Sunday. Sometimes if it is an urgent critical need for the business, I will support, but not on every Sunday. I cannot do that. So be very firm and assertive in your communication when you're setting boundaries with your boss. And another way of doing it is enforce your boundaries by keeping emotions in check. Emotions को ज्यादा बहने मत दीजिए. बहुत टाइम ऐसा होता है कि आपके इमोशन से डील को ब्रेक कर देते हैं. If you are overly showing your anger, or you are overly showing your weakness in your emotions, that can be a deal breaker for you. So keep emotions in check. Try to focus on the solution. And the third point here, in case you see that things are not working, go ahead and seek support from your HR. Oh yes, I'm telling it. बहुत टाइम ऐसा होता है कि there are certain people who will be very difficult to deal with. And if this is a repetitive situation that your boss is pressurizing you, asking you to work overtime, day in, day out, continuously, and even after your multiple requests of giving you leeway for your personal life, giving you time for your personal life, आपको टाइम नहीं मिल रहा है, आपकी बात सुनी नहीं जा रही है, you should seek support from your HR. So use those opportunities skillfully, tactfully. So that's the step number 3. What is the step number 4? Now step number 3 तक हम लोगों ने बात किया कि किस तरह से आप अपने डिफिकल्ट बॉस के साथ डील करोगे. सबसे पहले हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया कि पहले उनके बिहेवियर को डिकोड कीजिए कि किस तरह का बिहेवियर है, किस तरह के सिचुएशन पे दैट पर्टिकुलर बिहेवियर कम्स आउट, व्हाट इज द ट्रिगर अंडर व्हिच दिस पर्टिकुलर बिहेवियर कम्स आउट. In step number 2, we talked about how do you use the power of communication in dealing with this difficult person. And if you can use your communication skill tactfully, you will be able to handle this person. थर्ड पॉइंट में हम लोगों ने बात किया कि इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू सेट योर बाउंड्रीज एंड क्लियरली डिफाइनिंग दिस बाउंड्रीज एंड कम्युनिकेट दिस बाउंड्रीज टू योर बॉस. एंड व्हेन इट इज नॉट वर्किंग, go ahead and seek support from HR or somebody senior in your organization. So हम लोगों ने यहाँ तक बात किया. Now we will go into some other aspect of this entire difficult boss relationship issue. What is that aspect? That aspect is nothing but looking at the positive side of it, which here comes my point number 4. Build a strategic alliance with the organization. क्या होता है कि जब भी you are dealing with a difficult person, difficult boss at your workplace, your position in the organization sometimes comes under question because of the negative feedback that your boss might give about you within the organization. इस situation में it is very important that you maintain good relationship with other people working in the organization, possibly in the other departments. So that's why I'm talking about this building strategic alliances. How you can do that? First of all, identify potential allies in your organization. So understand the office dynamics, recognize the influencers, note who can provide support. So sometimes you know that there are certain important persons in your organization. Every organization will have certain important person जिसके थ्रू आपका जो कम्युनिकेशन है, आपका जो मैसेज है, that can go to somebody higher up in the organization. So these people are called influencers. So try to identify who are those influencers in the organization. Try to build relationship with that particular person. Now relationship build करना is again an art, right? So cultivating relationship किस तरह से कर सकते हो आप? You can communicate consistently. एक बार बात कर लिया नहीं, continuously उस इंसान से maintain a good communication, regular communication, consistent communication. And be collaborative. Sometimes go ahead and support that person in his or her work, and be genuine in the conversation. कुछ ऐसा मतलब मत बात कीजिए कि आपकी इंटेंशन अलग हो बात करने के टाइप में. Be very genuine and be authentic in whatever you're communicating with this particular person. Build a relationship with this person. And also try to leverage the relationship. Now आपने एक बार अगर relationship बना लिया, उस relationship को leverage करने का कोशिश कीजिए. Collaborate on certain projects. ऐसा कोई projects जो आपके organization पे हो रहा है, जो जिस project में you have this person also, this particular influencer is also part of that project. Try to be a party of that project. Try to be a part of that particular project and contribute something. Share your knowledge. Talk about that particular person, advocate about that particular person, his or her skill sets. So that way, what you are doing actually, you are building a very good relationship with that influencer. So that way, you're actually preparing the ground. Tomorrow, if that kind of a situation comes, wherein your boss, that particular difficult boss has completely gone against you, आपके वो अगर difficult boss completely आपके against में चले गए हो और आपके नाम से कोई complaint भी हो गया हो, then there'll be one or two people, these influencers, जिसके साथ आपने अच्छा relationship बनाया, may come at your help. Number one. Number two, how it can be helpful is tomorrow in some other department, if some opportunity comes and you are done with this person, for example, you can actually get opportunity because you maintained a good relationship with somebody in the organization, a person who is a sort of influencer in decision making in the organization. That opens up a door of opportunity for you. So that's how this building relationship is very important for you. Now coming to the fifth step. Now fifth step में अभी आपको देखना पड़ेगा, चलो ये जो आपका पूरा एक्सपीरियंस हुआ विथ वर्किंग विथ अ डिफिकल्ट बॉस, ये क्या पूरा मतलब एक फेलियर एक्सपीरियंस ही था या आप इससे कुछ सीख सकते हो? So let's look at this particular part wherein we are talking about turning the challenges into opportunities. Your experience of working with this difficult boss, what it has taught you. So identify the learning opportunities. Because it's a challenging situation, take ownership to work in a challenging situation with this particular person. Whatever feedback that are coming, take that feedback. Whatever failures that has happened in dealing with this difficult person, exploit those failures and embrace the learning from that particular failure. Because अगर आपको कैरियर में ग्रो करना है, believe me, dealing with difficult people may happen multiple times, not only once. So आपको अगर कोई difficult boss मिला है आपके लाइफ में, use this opportunity to learn so that next time when you're getting that opportunity, you are better prepared. So develop the key skills. One of the very important skills of dealing with difficult people is always, it helps you to develop your negotiation skills. That you are asking me to do this 1, 2, 3, 4 things, but I will be doing this 1, 2, 3 things. The fourth thing I will not be doing because of this 1, 2, 3 reason. Because that's where this conflict lies. So you have to learn the better way of negotiating your point of view if you think that certain injustice is happening with you. Also, you need to rebrand yourself, your personal brand, and develop a strategic thinking. Why strategic thinking? Because this particular incident is not the end of your career. In your career, you need to grow further 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years ahead. So अगले 20 साल तक, अगले 15 साल तक सोच के स्ट्रेटेजिकली सोचिए कि मेरा जो एक्सपीरियंस हुआ इससे मैं क्या सीख सकता हूं या क्या सीख सकती हूं. That's why you need to think strategically here. And another point is reflect on the growth part, not on the negative aspect or the degrowth part. कि ये बॉस के साथ आके मेरा जिंदगी बेकार हो गया. My career has gone for a toss. Now I won't be able to grow in my career. No. Hold on. The difficulty that you're facing with the boss, possibly the communication style of the boss is not right, and that is very humiliating for you. There is a learning for you, right? What is the right way of communicating that you're learning from this person, because this is not something that you're going to do. Number one. Number two, if you learn the way of communicating with this difficult person, believe me, this knowledge, this learning is going to help you so much that not only you will be able to handle similar kind of people in your future life, in your career, but you can also teach others, become a mentor to others who are facing similar kind of challenges. And that obviously makes you a better leader, isn't it so? So friends, these are the 5 steps that I wanted to share with you. If you are dealing with a difficult boss, or your friends or colleagues, your family members are dealing with a difficult boss, how to handle and how to triumph over that difficult relationship that you're facing. So for me, the silver lining, I'll again tell you that you should always see the opportunity and use this situation as a catalyst for your own career advancement. Let me know how you find this particular talk for today. Let me know your comments. Put it on the comment section. Let me know your feedback. In case you have any story to share, go ahead and put it in the comment section. So friend, the final point from my side is don't give up, don't quit. Master the game. Be a master of the game. Because आप यहाँ पे हारने के लिए नहीं आए हो, आप यहाँ पे जीतने के लिए आए हो. Isn't it so? So again, I'm requesting, in case you find this particular talk important, in case you find it interesting, in case you find it something of value, go ahead and share it with your friends, with your family members, with somebody else, with some colleague who can get benefited from this. Thank you so much for all of your presence today evening. And for today evening, that's all I had to share with all of you. Wait. You know that my book is out. It's actually already released on 21st of May. Do you know what is the name of the book? Well, let me repeat. 10x your focus to achieve career success in a competitive world. Because today is a very, very competitive world. हर कोई आगे बढ़ना चाहता है. There is a lot of competition that is there. And when there is so much competition, जो एक चीज आपके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है वो अटेंशन फोकस. एक सिंगल पॉइंट में फोकस रख के कैरियर में आगे बढ़ो. तो अगर आपने अभी तक ऑर्डर नहीं किया, go ahead and order it. It is available on Amazon Prime, and there are very interesting real life tips, real life situations that I have explained in this book, and I'm sure this is going to be a game changer for your career success. Go ahead and grab a copy and share with me your feedback once you read the book. I wish you all the best, all the very success in your corporate career. Thank you so much for your presence. Good night. See you again next Sunday. Bye-bye.